Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye and Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Hello and welcome into Armada Kickoff. We're finally here. The Armada Kickoff, the 2016 season on Sunday in New York against the Cosmos. Been a long time coming, and the team is ready for it. We'll hear from Tony Meola and a number of veteran players about their expectations for the second season of the Armada straight ahead.
And we get to know one of the Armada players a little better off the field and see the impact he's trying to make in the Jacksonville community.
Plus Bob Veal in Bob's Bootroom, Mauricio Ruiz and David Hayes join us on the Analyst Roundtable. But let's start with a look ahead to the 2016 season. This preseason, the training sessions have been intense. That's the kind of competitiveness that Tony Meola has tried to instill in his team. But this weekend, it will finally be put to the test as the Armada open up the 2016 NASL season. And to hear it, players say it's about time.
We're very ready. We've been ready for weeks now. Like you said, it's been a long pre-season. I think we're sick and tired of playing against each other in training every day. We just want to have a competitive game, and that's why we're looking forward to Sunday.
Any game that you enter, you always want to make sure that you're having the same sort of attitude and the same sort of mentality going into games. So, I mean, with the 3 points that we're now wanting to get in every game that we play in, it's going to be a lot more higher intensity. I think guys will be wanting to get to their, full capacity very quickly in the game, and hopefully we can take that on into each and every game that we play in.
Tony Meola first met with the team back in early January. Since then, they've been working, putting together the pieces, and now, finally, they're ready to go. The wait has been even longer considering the fact that the Armada had a first-week bye and had to watch the rest of the NASL begin the 2016 season.
So excited. I mean, I don't think we can really put it into words how excited we are. Last week we had the party, and just watching everybody play, that itch is there. We're ready to go to New York and hopefully get a good result.
Starting the season against the Cosmos offers great opportunity, not only because the Armada will be going on the road, but because a victory could mean a huge statement to the rest of the NASL.
If we win, which I think is like Tony says, a very doable task, it'll give us a great motivation, great confidence to keep going, know that if we beat last year's champions at home, we can beat anybody anywhere.
The NASL regular season got underway for Armada fans with the Anchors Away party at Suite at the St. John's Town Center on Sunday. A chance for fans to meet Armada players, get autographs, and hear from the head coach and key players as well. For the Armada supporters, it's a great chance to get up close and personal with their favorite Armada stars. And for the players, a great chance to connect back to the community that has supported them so well in the first year of their existence. Next up for the Armada, it's the regular season opener Sunday against the defending champion New York Cosmos.
Players that you can switch around, and we're going to be very strong.
We saw a lot of different players, a lot of different lineups.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Here on the Analyst Roundtable, we've got Mauricio Ruiz and David Hayes. Okay, guys, 2016 is here. David, are they going to win on the road?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we have to get that off our back as far as saying it. I think the organization, they're different. It's a different coaching staff, a different mentality. I think we have the players completely different from last year. So I think we're going to win, and we're going to win a lot on the road.
I think there's an understanding of how to approach road games, and it's going up to New York this weekend. You got to get points. So when you put your mentality is you got to get points, wins come with that, and then all of a sudden you go there and you steal 3 points, rather than just coming back with one.
Okay, what about this week though? What's it going to take to win away against the defending champs?
A little bit of that, a little bit of the discipline, a little bit of the consciousness of going in there and knowing that now the Cosmos, they do have one game under the belt, so a little bit more experience. They are the defending champions. They are playing at home. We're coming up there with somewhat of a new roster, so be disciplined. Don't give up a whole lot, and when you do have your chances, you're going to have your chances. Put them away.
Yep, discipline. I think we have to handle the transitions of the game better, well. The first 15, the possession part, and then the last 15. And I think we have the players this year to do that, and the coaching staff, and the mentality is the biggest thing for me as well.
All right, guys, stick around. More from you guys coming up here in just a bit. Nobody is more excited than Garry Lewis to be playing for the Armada. Growing up on the First Coast, he now plays professional soccer in front of family and friends. But being able to play at home means more to Garry than just the games. Ashlea Bullington has more.
Great moment here for Garry Lewis. A long road back for this local product.
Garry Lewis's journey from Orange Park to Community First Park was a long and sometimes difficult one. Starting at the age of 9 when he was playing in Clay County, he was inspired by watching the local professional team, the Jacksonville Cyclones.
It created a buzz, and it inspired me to kind of like dream big.
One player in particular caught his eye. Garry looked to Paul Tomorrow as his mentor. Not only seeing Paul as a professional on television, but having him as a coach is what helped Garry move to the next level.
When we were kids, we watched the team end, and for me, those guys were my heroes. To be able to see that, a professional team as a kid is huge. It can spark so much for a young player.
Paul helped create that spark in Garry, a spark that took Garry all the way to Finland to chase his dream of being a professional soccer player.
The one common bond you have is sport and it's passion, and it makes you appreciate where you come from.
Garry knew from the moment he heard of the Armada he wanted to be on his hometown team. But in a practice game late in 2014, Garry broke his leg. It was more than a year before Garry returned to the field. As he rehabbed, he never knew if he would make it back on the pitch. While dealing with his injury, tragedy struck the Lewis family. Garry lost his sister and best friend, Erica, to depression. Seeing the need to help battle this mental illness, Garry started a foundation in her honor.
We had a very, very, very strong bond, but that's the nature of depression. 2 out of 3 people will be depressed in their lifetime. So it's a very, very real thing, and don't be afraid to talk about it.
Garry has started a scholarship for a female athlete at Orange Park High School. Using his sister as his everyday inspiration, he takes his memories of her with him.
I have the unique role of being a local player on the team. I want to utilize that position to do the most for this community, and that's what I like about this scholarship. That's what I like about this legacy. It's about being genuine. It's about being real, reaching into the community, helping out, making our community here in Jacksonville a nicer community. She would be proud of me. She would be.
As we mentioned, Tony Meola's first met with his team back in January, just before training began. It's been a long and productive preseason, and Meola is finally on the doorstep of coaching in his first league fixture as a head coach. To say the least, he's ready for it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The guys, you can tell this week there's a little more energy. Obviously, the NASL season has started. Everyone paid attention this weekend what's going on, and we're finally going to get in the mix here a little bit. So you could, as I said, you could tell that the guys had a little more step this week so far, and it's been the trainings have been great.
Watching what the Cosmos did in their opener, I mean, if there was any lack of attention, that would get your attention pretty quickly, I would think.
Yeah, everyone keeps talking about the Cosmos and the changes, but make no mistake, they brought in good guys. Giovanni Savarese and his staff know what kind of player it takes to win in this league. They know what they want to do. They're very good at what they do. They put a lot of pressure in the middle third of the field and trying to get at you really quickly. And if you're not good with the ball against the Cosmos, you're gonna be in for a long day.
How close are you to knowing who the 18 are going to be and who the 11 will be?
The 11, I'm probably 2 positions away right now. We're tinkering a little bit with the last 2 positions. I know how I want to play. Just who the personnel will be might change up until the last day. And as far as the 18, that's always tough. You get to the end and trying to balance out if this guy gets hurt, if that guy gets hurt. We're going through that, but we're fairly close. We're not far away.
How big would 3 points be to start the season?
Well, if you're selling me 3 points, I'll buy them right now. But there's a long haul to get 3 points on the weekend. I think we're up for the task. That's what we're going there to do. Certainly we have this, let's call it a hump we have to get over, right? Because this particular group hasn't won on the road yet, so we've got to try and right that ship. But as I told the guys, and I've been preaching from day one, this is, for us, is a marathon, and the season, the championship is not going to be won on April 10th. But it's got to be a stepping stone for us.
The guys have their NASL season opener this Sunday up in New York. Then the home opener a week from tomorrow at Community First Park. Single match tickets are on sale now starting at $18. You can call 844-2-ARMADA or go to armadafc.com. And if you can't make it to the home opener or want to catch the team on the road, all of our matches can be seen right here on CW17. Our pregame coverage begins 30 minutes before the game.
Coming up, highlights from the first weekend of the spring season. We'll go around the NASL.
And we go into Bob's Bootroom with Bob Veal to break down the New York Cosmos attack from their season opening win. More Armada Kickoff when we return.
To enter for your chance to participate in the Winn-Dixie Bubble Battle, visit your nearest Winn-Dixie in your Armada gear, take a selfie, and post it to any of the Armada social media using the hashtag WinnDixieBB. 2 winners will be selected every Wednesday during a home match week. Assemble a team of 3, and you're ready for battle.
The NASL season is underway, and a couple of teams looked very impressive on the first weekend. Let's go around the NASL, presented by Nike.
Let's start in Oklahoma City. A capacity crowd of over 6,400, including some standing room only on hand for the first ever Rio OKC matchup, taking on FC Edmonton. And this one had moments, but no goals. 0-0, thanks to some outstanding goalkeeping from Matt Van Oekel of Edmonton. Greek international Georgios Samaras did get in the match for the final 11 minutes of play. Rio OKC and FC Edmonton finish in a 0-0 draw. The South Florida Derby featuring Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Both sides have the opportunity at PKs. Dario Svitanic with the first ever goal in Miami FC history. And on the other end, it was the new Fort Lauderdale striker, Icon Santos, who got the job done, a 1-1 draw. Carolina and Minnesota. Minnesota in the light blue, and an early goal here from Christian Ramirez, but look at this. Looks very similar. Tisha Polani getting his job done. And then Kareem Moses in the 26th minute finding Austin Deluge on the header. They're celebrating in Carolina a 2-1 victory for the Railhawks. Tampa Bay Rowdies, Indy 11 going at it. Newly acquired Tom Heineman had a shot at things there. Couldn't get it to go. Terrific goalkeeping, though, on both sides from Tampa Bay and Indy. This one would finish as well in a 0-0 draw. And finally, the Cosmos taking on the Ottawa Fury. Here's how the scoring got started. Jake Arrieta finding Juan Arango, the all-time leading scorer in Venezuelan history, gets one, and then he gets a second. Cosmos would go on to a 3-0 victory over the Fury in a rematch of the NASL Championship.
All right, here are the NASL standings after the first week of play. Just 2 teams got victories, as we mentioned, the Cosmos and Railhawks. Cosmos scoring 3 goals in the win, so they're atop the table, right where they finished things last year. And these other teams that wound up with draws, Fort Lauderdale and Miami and FC Edmonton, Indy 11. So if the Armada, who didn't play in the opening week, are to get 3 points away, that would be a huge victory. Even getting a point away with a draw will put them right in the thick of things for the start. Remember, the Armada are the only team in the NASL yet to play a match in 2016. Now let's head to Bob's Bootroom, presented by Collaboration Solutions and Clear Touch. Here are Bob Veal and Ashlea Bullington.
Thanks, Cole. Bob, NASL opening weekend this last weekend, and Cosmos were one of the only 2 teams to win. What were you seeing from this game about how they scored their 3 points?
Well, they scored 3 goals, but like a golf scorecard, it doesn't show the picture. Let's see those 3 goals. Let's start with the first one. Arrieta out on the left-hand side here. He crosses it, and Arango puts it in. If we're going to go back, let's go back to that and see what actually happened there. And the fullback here of Ottawa commits himself and misses the tackle altogether. Watch what the goalkeeper does. NASL Goalkeeper of the Year last year, comes off his line. Really bad decision. So let's play that and see what happens. Goalkeeper comes off his line, misses the ball. Nobody picks up Arango into the net. Let's go to the second goal. Here, again, the goalkeeper, bad position. Here, he palms it out. He collects the ball here, palms it out. Again, Areta brings it in from this side, and nobody picks up Arango, and he scores the second goal. And you'll see that here. So let's move to the last goal. Again, horrendous goalkeeper mistake. Out he comes, out to the 18-yard box here, and really shouldn't have come out. Just punches the ball forward, and we'll see what happens here. It goes out, and the substitute just clips the goal over the top. 3 easy goals with basic defensive mistakes.
So do you think that if the Armada has a solid defense that they could have a chance to?
I think they've got a much solid defense this year than they had last year. I think they would cut those sort of moves out.
Well, thank you so much, Bob. Cole, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Straight ahead, David Hayes and Mauricio Ruiz rejoin us to dissect the state of soccer in Jacksonville as the Armada prepare for their second season. Don't go anywhere. More Armada Kickoff right around the corner.
There's still time to register for the Intuition Blue and Bold Pub Crawl this Sunday. The event runs from 3 to 7:30 p.m., starting at Flask and Cannon, moving through the beach bars, and ending at Hoptinger for a watch party. Tickets for this event start at $20 if you pre-register online and $25 day of. And it includes a ticket to the home opener next Friday. The Armada Social Rewards program is a fantastic way to connect with the team and win Armada prizes. Anything from tickets, exclusive interactions with players and coaches, and even an all-inclusive trip to an away game with the team. All you have to do is log on to armadasocialrewards.com, create an account, link your social media accounts, and start earning tokens. Each week here on Armada Kickoff, we pick a random winner. This week's Social Rewards winner is Janice Pierce. You've won 2 tickets to the Armada's home opener on April 15th against Miami FC. Now we go over to the roundtable with the guys, presented to you by Subway. Cole?
All right, thank you, Ashley. Back here on the Analyst Roundtable, we've got Mauricio Ruiz and David Hayes. The Armada are beginning their second season, and I want to talk about the kind of difference that the Armada has made in the soccer community in Jacksonville. Mauricio, let's start with you. What's the impact been?
So I've been here in Jacksonville for 2 years. I feel like there's always been a soccer presence here, a soccer community. I feel like the Armada have brought in the feeling of a soccer town now. I think there's actually expands not just to the soccer community, but people know about the Armada outside of the soccer community. So it's been a feeling of there's something to do when the Jags, because it is a Jags town, there's something to do when the Jags are not in play, and there's a good, healthy conversation about soccer now. It's bringing other events into town as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's helped the kids from a standpoint. They can see the fruits of their labor now. They can have a progression stage and get all the way up to the top. And then for the parents, most of these kids that are playing soccer right now, their parents haven't played. So they don't know what the game looks like live, and they really don't watch it on TV. To see Kaká come in and see these players come in and they can actually see that and then see their kids getting, excitement out of that, I think it's awesome.
All right, so that's the impact for the soccer community. What about for the city at large?
I mean, I think, it's brought in revenue. We had the Jags, we had the Suns, and now we have the Armada. So it's bringing, people to the city, and they're spending money. So I think it's great for the whole city as a whole.
I think once again, it just became another thing to do in town. It became something that going to soccer game, going to an Armada game, or going to the U.S. game that the Armada have an influence in. It's something that it's an addition, it's an attribute that the city can bring to its residents and to the community at large.
And I also would say that, when my wife wanted to move here, I said, Jacksonville, there's no soccer in Jacksonville, and now there is. So It's going to bring players like Mauricio and myself and other players come here to kind of facilitate and help as well. Right.
It builds that sort of infrastructure for sure.
Absolutely.
This year, how will you gauge success for the Armada? Is it as simple as wins?
It's postseason. I think it's what we've seen last year, and someone said this to me this week. We're close, but we're yet so far, and I think that couldn't be truer to the Armada as it were last year. And I think they're closer, but yet extremely far, if they can just make the simple adjustments, because the league is not far ahead. The league is very much within reach. If they can make the few adjustments, there's no reason why success can't come in the form of a postseason.
Absolutely. I mean, I think when you look at it, you look at, want to get to the postseason. We want to do well in the U.S. Open Cup. And so for me, I think this first step is just get that mentality of winning and winning and winning, and then all that will come in.
Guys, thanks so much. David Hayes, Mauricio Ruiz, we're ready for the season. Coming up, a closer look at the defending NASL champions who the Armada face on Sunday. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
Sunday, the Armada faced the New York Cosmos in the season opener for Jacksonville and the second match of the year for the defending NASL champions. Last week, New York saw Venezuelan Juan Arango score twice in a 3-0 victory over Ottawa. Last year, the Armada went to New York twice, returning with a thrilling 3-3 draw to end the spring season and a loss in the fall. The Armada did manage to beat the Cosmos in Jacksonville last season. This will be a bit of a homecoming for head coach Tony Meola and assistant coach Jim Rooney, who are both from the New York area and played professionally in the Big Apple.
All right, here's how it looks. Armada and Cosmos Sunday, 6 o'clock kickoff. Our coverage begins at 5:30 here on CW17. The Armada, a win, a draw, and a loss last year against the Cosmos. And remember, that blue and bold pub crawl begins at 3 o'clock. You can have a big evening of it as the Armada kick off the season.
Another great opportunity for fans to get tickets at a great price is with our Kraken Pack. Buying this pack gets you to 8 Armada games, including the season opener and Community First Park against Miami FC, and to Fan Appreciation Day on October 30th against Florida rival, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. There are 2 bundles of games to choose from, both at just $88.
All right, the Armada versus the Cosmos on Sunday. I absolutely can't wait. Remember, you can get the latest on the Armada online at armadafc.com and on radio, the Armada Soccer Show, Wednesdays at 6 on Sports Radio 930. Armada Kickoff airs every Thursday night at 10 right here on CW17. And remember, Armada Coaches Show featuring Tony Meola starts on Sports Radio 930 Monday at 6 o'clock, the debut edition. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Cole Pepper.
And I'm Ashlea Bullington. We leave you with our Armada selfie montage. To get your picture in our rollout, tag your Armada-related photos on social media with the hashtag Armada Selfie. We'll see you Sunday for the season opener.